In the real world, raw data is rarely clean or ready to use. And that's where data wrangling comes in. Data wrangling is the process of cleaning raw data and organizing it so it can be used for analysis, oftentimes with Numpy. So today we have a sample incomplete CSV data that we will be cleaning, organizing, and analyzing. Here's the sample data. As you can see, the columns are color coded. As you can see in the last row, it isn't a number or an integer. So this needs to be cleaned so we could further analyze using NumPy. I already have Python code to read the CSV data and have it all appended to an array called data. So the first thing we will do is initialize a new array called clean data. We will make sure that we're performing data wrangling on all the rows below the header row. So what we will do is we'll make sure that the very first row is all for the headers. Everything below that is data that needs to have data wrangling performed on. Since we are dealing with an array, we will need to perform data wrangling per row. So what this says is basically empty rows get skipped in the for loop. Okay, so here we are destructuring the row into name, age, email, and salary. So in the very first if statement, it takes a name from the very first row. It strips off all the white spaces and assesses if the name is empty. Now we are entering a try catch block. So what this try except block does is checks if the age value exists. And if it doesn't exist, it sets it to none and moves on. We have a second try catch or try except block. We do basically the same for the salary column as well. So it checks if the salary value exists, and if it doesn't, it'll set it to none. We have an added constraint here with an if statement, basically checking if the age isn't below 18. And if it is, we will exclude that from the CSV, from the new CSV data as well. So within every for loop iteration, we're cleaning the row and appending it to the cleaned data array. And this will happen for each iteration. So that was step one. All we did was cleaned the data, performed data wrangling. Now we're going for the second step, which is creating the new cleaned CSV data. So here we will open a new file. It will be called cleaned data.csv. The mode will be called write, and we would like to prevent any empty spaces. And we will address it as file. Here we have initialized a writer object that allows us to write rows to this CSV file. Here we're using the write row method to include the column headers. We will use write rows method to include the rest of the cleaned data rows into our new CSV file. Now what we'll do is we'll run this Python file and see the new cleaned CSV file be generated. So here we have clean data. Let's have a look. So in the sample data on line 7, we've got a row that did not have a name. We got rid of that row since it is incomplete data. The sample data on line number 8 had not available. In clean data, it is now empty. This is a more organized, cleaned CSV data so that NumPy can be used to perform data analysis. That is the end of step 2. And now we're left with the last step, which is step 3, where we do a quick NumPy analysis on the cleaned CSV data. Here we're simply retrieving all the non-empty ages and non-empty salaries. Here we're creating NumPy arrays for age and salary so that we can now perform NumPy analysis on these specific arrays. Here we're simply calculating average age and we don't need any for loop for it. NumPy handles it all under the hood. Here, just like the above, we're looking for the oldest age. As you can see, you don't really need any for loop. You don't need to go through any iterations. NumPy does it all in a very minimalistic manner, which is very powerful, and it's a lot faster than arrays as well. Let's run this code and see the output. So here you have it, guys. NumPy analysis done right after data wrangling. It's as simple as that. It's a 3-step process. Thank you.